the best turnout I've seen at any Democratic event all summer. So congratulations. I won't echo all the thank yous, but I will say thank you, Rebecca, for the invitation and for putting this together, and ditto on all the other thank yous. You know, we do have really great leaders here in Connecticut, but I spend most of my time telling people, because I always hear, we're so lucky here in Connecticut. And I'm like, no, don't use that language. It's not luck. It's actually the very hard work of DTCs across the state and people like you who go out and door knock, make phone calls, send text messages, spread the word. And I tell them that because I was listening to a podcast last week and it said, our democracy won't fix itself. It won't. We have to be the ones actively fixing it. And I currently serve in the House, and as someone said earlier, all the bills that are introduced in other states that we say, oh, thank goodness it doesn't happen here in Connecticut, it does happen here in Connecticut. We just have such a wide Democratic majority that it never makes it out of committee. But we're just one bad election away from having all of those same laws. The one that I find most troubling, which also will be on the docket in the fall with the Supreme Court, is the independent state legislature theory, which says that the power to make decisions about elections and certify elections should switch from secretaries of the state to state legislatures, and that power should supersede court decisions. These are very dangerous ideas, notions. It's why we need people like Tim and Phoebe at the state level, and it's why we all have to work twice as hard. But being here in Newtown reminds me of why I'm running for this office to begin with. I believe that through civic education and civic engagement, we can finally realize what this participatory democracy that Senator Murphy talked about looks like. If we get more people participating, we can move the needle of policy faster and further. And I think it's of such critical importance. It always slips through the cracks. No agency has ever been responsible for it. But as the next Secretary of the State, I would like to take on that project and maybe set up a model that could be replicated around the country, because it's not a Connecticut problem, it's an American problem. And we have so much work to do. I flipped my district from red to blue. I'm only the second Democrat to ever serve. So I also remind audiences what it took to do that. Our campaign in 2020 made 25,000 calls, sent 15,000 text messages, hand wrote 5,000 postcards. And I say that because that is what it takes to flip a really tough district. Everyone here, I'm preaching to the converted. You're out here because you care, because you give back. But please, bring a friend, because I know from sitting in the House chamber and sitting in the General Assembly how much we need Tim and Phoebe, because what is said in mailers, a lot of Republicans take credit for policies that Democrats have passed, but they vote no when they're in Hartford. So we need to start bringing that story back home, and we need to make sure, I would like to see a supermajority in Hartford. But like Eric, I'm the endorsed candidate, but I am in a primary. So I've also been reminding people about another great law that Democrats passed this year, which is expanding the reasons by which people can vote by absentee ballot. Yes, thank you. That does deserve a strong I've been really pleased to serve as vice chair of our elections committee in the state for the last year and a half, and we passed a lot of great law. But just tell everybody, it used to be you had to be absent from your town of voting all hours of the voting day. But now if you're absent at all, you can vote by absentee ballot. That is huge for anyone who does not know their work schedule in advance, or a commuter, etc. We also changed it from your illness to illness in general. real world example, because people get confused. I ran into a woman last week who said, my husband's having knee replacement surgery the day before the primary election. She goes, I should be able to leave him for a little while to go vote. I said, ma'am, you don't have to do that anymore. You can vote by absentee ballot, because she was concerned about his illness. She's serving as his caregiver. So please spread the message about that as well. I've now spoken too long, so I will, I hope to earn your support. Vote StephanieThomas.com if you want to get involved.